of the things that we love so much about Lyle, Lyle Crocodile is that there are so many themes about coming from a place of fear to going from a place of connection, going from a place of being on your own to being in a place of community.
Lyle is a good crocodile. He's just lonely like I was. I made a friend. Mom, I feel like I belong here because of Lyle.
We've wanted to work with Pasek and Paul for a really long time. It was a dream come true to be able to collaborate with them on this movie. We love their music, we've loved their movies, we love their shows.
They're one of only a few people now working that write these just incredible original pieces of music for movies.
It's a place for you and I, a little space for you and I.
They are truly two greats of their generation. Watching their creative process has been inspiring. They use the whole spectrum of color. They're like painters who use every color.
We were excited from the get-go because we saw some visualizations of what Lyle would look like, and there's just such a sweetness and such a kindness, and also it's such a juxtaposition between what we think crocodiles are supposed to be and what this sweet, I want to say guy, I don't know how to describe, this reptile.
Yes, crocodiles are dangerous. Yes, they can bite your bone, and yes, they have a taste for human flesh, but he's not like that. He wears a scarf.
We haven't gotten to write something quite like this in a world where there is literally a singing crocodile on the screen, but that's just frees it up so much, and it lets you go to places that maybe we wouldn't normally get to go to.
You have a crocodile who can literally only express himself through song. So it immediately is this permission-giving conceit where you have to go along for the ride.
They're so incredibly collaborative. The entire time, they just always wanted me to feel like I was connecting to something that was my truth.
There's a really cool moment where I was writing with Benj and I was like, maybe there's something about like top of the world because they're on top of this building, and he's like, that's great, that should be the title. And that was how the title of the song was born.
You don't realize how complex and how smart and how beautiful these songs are, how lyrically astonishing they are, and how much effort they put into them. And when you're in the recording studio going through the songs, that's when you really kind of have an eye-opening experience to how amazing they really are.
At the top of the world tonight, it can stay this way, at least until the morning light.
For us as songwriters to get to write songs where with each one you're unlocking a character or unlocking someone's true sort of human heart, it's a total joy.
The top of the world tonight.
What Benj and Justin did was bring these songs forward that actually told a lot of story in very economical ways.
It's a great, very efficient form of storytelling.
Working with Pasek and Paul on that was absolutely fascinating because in order to write a good song, they'd need to have a really clear, what they call a change moment. So from the beginning of the song to the end of the song, something needed to have changed in the story or in the characters or in the character's point of view.
It's wonderful to work in collaboration when a script is still malleable and that you can be contributing and really going through the script and being like, okay, what's the high point emotionally? You know, there's a song called Carried Away, and getting to sort of collectively conceive, okay, we really want a song that Lyle is gonna sing in this moment. How do we all collectively get there?
This song is like the internal monologue of Lyle the entire movie that we don't really get to see. It's the insecurity, it's the vulnerability, and we don't get to see it until this moment. And it can only happen through song. So I think that was really exciting to be able to have the opportunity to write that.
We got carried away, carried away, got carried away, carried away.
Carried Away is probably my favorite song in the film. I connected with that immediately.
This moment feels so universal. We all know what it's like to be in a relationship and then have that go wrong and feel abandoned and doubt that what you had was real. Once we saw that moment in the script, we knew that was going to be an incredible song.
It was kind of a revelation for me because I'd have written 5 scenes in a row, which were all carefully crafted and things changing. And then Pasek and Paul would say, well, we can do all of the things that happen in all of those scenes in one song.
Obviously their vision leading the way as it should be, but all of us sort of around the piano in New York, mapping out what that musical number would look like, and that vision has carried through into what folks are gonna see on the screen.
I guess I let myself get carried away.
We always want the songs to feel integral to the plot, integral to the story, and like that song needed to happen.
I love the rhythm, I love the composition of those songs. They come out naturally, and it plays beautifully in the movie because when the characters are singing, it's part of the story that you are buying into.
One of the things that we love is when a musical can use a song and you get the interior life of a character, but then it can be repurposed for another character, and you can have the same song meaning two things. In Lyle, Lyle Crocodile, we try to do that with a song like Take a Look at Us Now, where we start with this big Javier Bardem showman's number.
We're gonna take a great big bow. Won't you take a look at us now?
And then later on, it's this song of being in a sort of sad and wistful and sort of regretful place.
Take a look at us now.
I think the music is incredibly elevated and beautiful. There's a lot of pop music kind of mixed with show tune, and that was really, really fun.
When you're cooking something up and only trying the tried and true, you stick to the predictable you've known.
The song that Lyle and Mrs. Prim sing, which is Rip Up the Recipe, was this idea of just kind of throw out expectations, throw out the plans, the map, the recipe, because there's so much to discover and there's so much joy to be had when you just kind of go with the flow of life.
The song is about when you're not ready, when you've made a lot of plans and you have a lot of ideas of how things are gonna go, you have to accept in this moment. Maybe things aren't gonna go the way you planned and you have to just roll with it.
Stop ripping up the recipe. Let go of how it has to be. You forget about right and wrong when you lose yourself in that song. It's perfect unexpectedly when you rip up the recipe.
Lyle is there to basically shake it all up for her and say, you need to embrace a different way of life. It is a beautiful story of the crocodile coming in and changing their lives, but also they change him and this journey changes him, and we realize that this is actually his journey that he has to go on, and he ends up in a beautiful place where they all can exist happily and free.
Take a look at us.
Now, take a look at us now.
Their songs are ridiculously catchy and incredibly emotional.
I'm excited to have songs out in the world that we've written that are infused with Lyle's joy and enjoyment of life and desire to live life vulnerable and honest and open.
We're really excited about them being part of the soundtrack and being part of the world.
Take a look at us.